What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So I know I haven't been too active on YouTube recently. Sorry, I've got like a bunch of stuff going on right now in terms of exams and everything like that. So all kinds of boring stuff that I won't bother you with. But that's pretty much why I haven't been uploading that much. I'll try to kind of like keep the schedule up. But once again, it's just really busy times for me, so I can't promise anything basically to you right now. Tomorrow I'll be starting a brand new Uncharted 4 countdown series, which is going to be super exciting. So stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be a great new series for the channel that you will probably all very much enjoy if you're looking forward to that game. But for now I wanted to talk about a quick rumor that got me very excited when I found out about it yesterday. So Shadow of Mordor 2, I don't think it's a surprise that it's probably going to be happening, right? Because the original game that came out in 2014 was a massive success, not just in kind of like, you know, critical reception, that the game was actually really good, but also in the way that it, I think, sold quite well, which is good because yeah, that game totally deserved it. It was my personal game of the year of 2014. I absolutely love that game. But it seems today that we finally got our first concrete evidence for the existence of the sequel, Shadow of Mordor 2, or whatever they're going to call it. And the very exciting thing as well is that it might actually get revealed at E3 2016 in just 3 months from now. So very cool stuff. And yeah, let me just quickly, you know, talk a bit about the rumor why apparently that is going to be the case. So there's an actor called, or an actress I should say, Lauren Mary Kim. She plays in many different video games, kind of like as an actor slash stunt actor, does a lot of mocap and that kind of stuff. From, you know, Tomb Raider to Assassin's Creed to God of War, she played in many different games. And on her CV on IMDb popped up the listing of what she calls Shadows of Mordor 2, so spells the name wrong there. For some reason everybody seems to spell the name wrong. I don't get that, you know, like it's not a really big thing of course, but how do people call that game Shadows of Mordor 2 when it's clearly Shadow of Mordor 2? It's the same as when I heard people back in the days referring to Uncharted as simply Drake's Fortune. So when Uncharted 2 got announced, I heard many people say Drake's Fortune 2, you know. But anyway, that's completely besides the point, of course. But she writes in a CV that she worked on Shadows of Mordor 2, did stunts slash acting there for a studios called Blur. And the thing is, of course, that Shadow of Mordor is developed by a studio called Monolith, so not exactly Blur. But then you kind of like look up who exactly this Blur studio is, and it turns out that Blur Studios does a lot of CGI for different companies. So for example, they worked on Avatar, I believe, and they also did stuff like cinematic trailers for the Batman Arkham games. Guess what? Those are Warner Brothers games, just like Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. They also worked on stuff like Halo and Star Wars and everything like that, gaming especially. So yeah, it might seem very likely that Blur Studios is currently working on a CGI trailer for the sequel to Shadow of Mordor. And then if you think about it that way, of course, they've been working on that now for a while. In 3 months we're gonna get E3 coming up, so it's only logical to assume that we'll finally get the announcement of the sequel at E3. So to me personally, once again, that seems very, very exciting because I loved the original one. And I guess to quickly talk a bit more about what I want from the sequel, yeah, that's kind of a hard question because the original was so good to me personally. What I, you know, like just to me, right, because I'm a giant Lord of the Rings fan and most of you will probably know that, what I simply want from that game is it to have a little more Lord of the Rings influences, if you get what I mean, because the first one was very standalone, right? It was a self-contained story that did have some of references to Lord of the Rings, like for example we saw Gollum and stuff, right? But that's really all there was to it, I guess. And yeah, furthermore, there was some really deep stuff in there from a lot of the lore and stuff that you don't see in the Lord of the Rings and in the Hobbit books, but more in the other Middle-earth books that you can read actually. But yeah, you know, for me, I think they should kind of like step away maybe from Mordor and this time around explore some more environments, like something like Shadow of Moria. How cool would that be if they actually went to explore the mining tunnels of Moria? There's also a lot of orcs and goblins and everything like that there. So yeah, what I personally want is more environments, also hopefully a bigger variety of them so that we can explore different ones. In Shadow of Mordor 1 we of course, yeah, basically had 2 different environments, one kind of like more like a green lush environment and one a darker one, but both took place in Mordor. Mordor, I want them to kind of start exploring complete Middle-earth, because they call the game Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, right? So I would totally want them to go to different environments, and in terms of the combat, everything is kind of already perfect there. I mean, we all know that the gameplay is what made that game so awesome, so just flesh it out a little bit more, make it bigger, make it more open, different, you know, bigger variety in areas, and then hopefully also a story that has some more references to Lord of the Rings with maybe some more characters that we know and love. I would totally love that. I think I'm asking too much there, because I do think it's still going to be very self-contained, just like the first one, but that being said, that's my personal wish from the game. Nonetheless, I can't wait to see the announcement of the game and to hopefully see it come out either at the end of this year or then next year maybe. But yeah, you know, me myself, I would totally love to see a sequel to Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, and I think it's happening, and this makes it very clear that it's probably in the works and happening very, very soon. So for now, I would like to know your thoughts in the comments on this. Are you looking forward to a sequel? And then, of course, what would you expect from it? What would you want from it? So for now, thanks a lot for watching. Look forward to the new series about Uncharted 4 coming up tomorrow, and then I hope to see you again next time.